Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Tuesday, April 26, 2022. A meeting announcement. All council meetings will be live streamed on the city website and on the City Channel Pittsburgh YouTube channel. Will the clerk please take the roll call?
Reverend Burgess, Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Kraus. Mr. Lavelle.
Here.
Mr. O'Connor.
Here.
Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Here,
7 members present.
thank you. As we join from our remote locations, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda? Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Agenda is amended. The next order of business is proclamations. We have one from Councilman Coghill to be presented.
Thank you, Madam President. For those of us who don't know, month of May is Motorcycle Awareness Education Month. And I have the folks here from ABATE, my friend Tim and Heather Cass, and the rest of you, would you come on up? ABATE stands for Alliance of Bikers Aimed Towards Education. And I want to thank you all for being here, Tim, Heather, and I'll let the rest of you introduce yourself when the time comes. And but first, I'd like to start with, reading the proclamation. Whereas safety of all Pittsburgh motorists is an issue of the utmost consequence for all motorists should unite in the safe sharing of the city of Pittsburgh's roadways. And more than 875,000 licensed motorcyclists are required to keep their vehicles inspected and obey current laws relative to the operator's safety equipment. And in the efforts to reduce the number of motorcycle crashes and fatalities, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation and the city of Pittsburgh encourages all motorcyclists to avoid becoming another crash statistic and take advantage of the free training courses offered through the Pennsylvania Motorcycle Safety Program. And it is especially significant that citizens of the city of Pittsburgh be aware of motorcycles on the streets and highways and recognize the importance of staying alert, practicing safe driving techniques, and promoting motorcycle safety. And during the month of May, the city of Pittsburgh and the Alliance of Bikers Aimed Towards Education, ABATE, of Pennsylvania Allegheny County chapter will continue their advocacy of motorcycle safety. And the city of Pittsburgh encourages all motorcyclists to continue their efforts to promote safety and motorcycle awareness and all drivers to respect the unique safety needs of motorcycles. And now therefore be resolved that the council of the city of Pittsburgh does hereby declare May 2022 as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month in the city of Pittsburgh.
Can I have a motion to approve in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamations approved. Congratulations.
Thank you. And
Thank you for your work.
I just want to say, it's my honor to give you this. Thank you for pointing out safety needs. If you all just take a minute, if you want to say a few words, enlighten us on what we should be looking out for as motorists, and just introduce yourself, your name, and anything you want to say. So who wants to go first? I'll go first. Okay.
Hello, sir. My name is John Sam.
Here, come on up here, John.
All right.
Speak into that.
Yes, sir. Hello, my name is John Samadowski, and I'm the president of Allegheny County. Our main focus is rider education. And one of our premier things that we have passed was Daniel's Law, which is texting and driving. Okay. Texting and driving is probably one of the most dangerous things that can happen out there. The people that are driving are completely unaware of what's going on. And we have raised the fines on that through the state. And we appreciate everything everybody's done for us. And in the future, we hope everybody's safe and has fun out there on the road. Thank you.
Good job.
My name is Tom DeWorkin. I am a lifetime member
of ABATE of Allegheny County. I participated in many campaigns over the last few decades. And I just wanted to remind the people, the citizens of the city of Pittsburgh, to please watch out for us when we're on the roads because our lives depend upon it.
I am Timothy Cass. I'm Public Relations Officer for ABATE Allegheny County. I just want to say, just look twice, save a life out there. Thank you.
David Harris, member of ABATE this chapter. It's going on 6 years. I've been a motorcycle rider since mid-50s. I am YMO, they call me, your membership officer. So I recruit members and for the safety of all. We appreciate the time and the effort sent to us. Thank you.
Dave is 80 years young today, or not today, right?
What's that?
I was just pointing out, you're 80 years young at this point.
Oh, thank you.
I'm Wayne Toth, Legislative Coordinator for the Allegheny County ABATE chapter. Honestly, it's just an honor and a privilege to be here today. And I thank you for sponsoring this proclamation. And again, there's a lot of husbands, wives, children, on and on that are out there on motorcycles. Please be careful. Everyone, please be aware. Have fun.
Okay, listen, I just want to thank you all for being here. Stay put. We're going to take a picture. And again, everybody be aware of motorcycles out there. Truly, they don't have the protection we have in a car. So thank you all for being here. Chris, you going to take a picture?
Thank you. Thank you. Be safe. My son's ride. Be safe. Our next order of business is public comment. I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which are or may be before city council. Threats and profanity will not be permitted. May we have the first registered speaker, and please state your name and neighborhood for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. And the first registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller. Dr. Miller? Be safe, everyone.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Belsuver, Berlin, Deutschland, Global Intelligence Society, U.S. National Candidate for the Presidency, 2024, globalintelligencesociety.org, ARPA-H. There are unjust laws and governments and juries, as there are unjust men. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Were Gandhi and Nelson Mandela and MLK arrested and jailed as national terrorists, seeking alternative systems to replace de jure and de facto apartheid systems? My answer is yes. A concern of this council is the vote. Vote by voter verification, copyright RLM 2020, is necessary in my view for US citizens to retake our democracy. The offices of council and mayor of the city of Pittsburgh on VVV is no. They do not want us to verify our votes. Voting is the core expression of the US American civil right to freedom of speech. Barring a US Pittsburgher from verifying his or her vote is a civil rights violation. The Pennsylvania Allegheny County Election Division bars U.S. Pittsburghers from verifying their votes. It violates their civil rights. Non-Pennsylvania county election divisions and departments across the United States bar U.S. citizens from verifying their votes. 2021 election for Pittsburgh mayor, 0 out of greater than 40,000 Gainey votes were verified by us. Therefore, greater than 40,000 civil rights violations. The non-elected by us ACE division has our votes, but we do not. The non-elected ACED voter recording system, VRS, has our votes, but we do not. This is fraud. Under the US Constitution and the Pennsylvania Constitution, the ACED and the ACVRS do not have the authority to deny us, the people, access to our own votes for verification. In the 2020 election for president, there were greater than 80 million Biden votes that were not verified by us, and 0 for 70 million Trump votes verified by the voters. The ACEDs and equivalents in all 50 states and 3,006 counties bar access to verify the votes, violating our First Amendment right to freedom of expression. That means there are 150 million civil rights violations on this issue. Solutions. 0 people should vote, but we are taking a class action lawsuit that represents these 150 million people.
Thank you. And our next registered speaker is Naomi Mullen. Naomi Mullen, I think she's on.
Good morning.
Morning, Naomi.
Hi, Teresa. Shady is not shady deals in Bon Air. People like my husband and myself have been active in the community. This was read at his funeral. Michael J. Mullen Reflection by Battalion Chief Douglas Praskovich. Retired Deputy Chief Mike Mullen touched the many lives of the people around him. His uncompromising dedication to his sworn duty to provide for the safety of the citizens of Pittsburgh was truly exceptional, and one that should be emulated by every firefighter. He loved sharing his knowledge of firefighting in all its many aspects to make our firefighters safer, smarter, and more efficient on the fire ground. Mike knew most of the firefighters on the entire Pittsburgh Bureau of Fire by their first name and was always approachable regardless of rank. If you had a question, he would stop what he was doing to answer it. He worked tirelessly, but also energetically his entire career in pursuit of more knowledge. His legacy will serve our citizens and firefighters for years to come. Mike was a loving and compassionate husband, father, brother, relative, and friend, and I would add neighbor. Michael J. Mullen lived a full life, as his obituary so accurately described. Mike was passionate, tireless, dedicated, highly conscientious, and caring. Well done, Michael. Well done. Rest in peace, my friend. We, the people of Bon Air, have maintained our properties and participated in many functions here. Our community made it perfectly clear at our 2021 town hall meeting in May that we oppose a detrimental property. Join our supporters, Mayor Gainey, Councilman Coghill, and State Representative Benham for the creation of a green space. The Michael Mullen Memorial Green Space is the solution for the peace, safety, and happiness of our community. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next registered speaker is Elena Zassoff. Elena?
Good morning. I'm Elena Zaitsoff. I live in South Oakland and I've lived here for 42 years. I'm here today in a state of confusion over the process allowed for ordinance 2021-1906. My previous attempts to get answers have been ignored. After Walnut Capital's attorney wrote version 1, he and Councilman Krause's then chief of staff wrote version 2. At an informal meeting, substantive changes were suggested by Oak Cliff residents. We were told it wouldn't be possible, that if substantive changes were made, the process would have to start over. City Council voted to send it to the Planning Commission without seeing it, just being provided a summary. Then it went from OPRE to a new zoning category, UCMU. Among other things, McKee Place was omitted and a public benefits agreement was made without public comment. If these aren't substantive changes, I don't know what are. So my first question is, why didn't the process start over? Then came the Planning Commission hearing where recommendations from city planning were given. Despite a planning commissioner saying they didn't have enough information, a vote was taken with recommendation for approval with 2 recommendations, one of which is that dimensions and massing be reviewed with the residential areas in mind and sectional drawings illustrating it be provided. I would like to know where those drawings can be accessed. Commissioner Mingo said she's throwing the design back to City Council because they don't have enough time and they don't have enough information. That was shocking to me, as they are the experts at it, not City Council. More substantive changes, and yet they voted and the flawed process is allowed to move on. If they didn't have enough time and information, they should have waited until they did. There is a process for changing zoning, and this is not it. Creating a new zoning district on this scale should take years to be properly developed, as traffic studies are done first, neighborhood impact studies are done, public engagement meetings, not just presentations where citizens are only given 3 minutes to speak and there's no interaction can occur. Meetings with neighborhood organizations occur, and residents are given time to understand the proposal and its long-term ramifications. It should not be a favor to a developer. Even Deputy Chief of Staff Pollock said something to the effect that things would not be done this way again. Oakland residents should not be at the mercy of poor process. There is constant confusion between the Walnut Capital rezoning and the proposed Oakland plan. That the Oakland plan will inherit a new zoning district from a developer is backwards. Hybrid, in-person / virtual town meetings where true exchange can occur needs to happen regarding 2021-1906. The 3 minutes provided to citizens without any answers is not adequate, just done because it's legally required. Questions don't get answered, nothing gets explained, there's no back and forth. Now,
Thank you. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. Is there anyone in chambers wishing to address City Council? Please come to the podium. Morning, Mr. Ludwig.
Good morning, Madam President. It's with great pleasure I present some thinking based on life experience. Life experience that's 89 years old. I have 3 sons. Thank God they're all grown and highly successful. Passed Dad by like he was standing still. And that's my pride and joy to have been a part of the parent team that raised them. But we did have our problems, and they point at the recent violence at the breakdown that occurred with the party for 200 wild people, young people who haven't had an opportunity to grow up yet. And what am I talking about? Well, my middle son didn't want to get up in the morning. He insisted he wanted to stay in bed. Well, one time you let him get away with it, another time, and then it becomes a pattern. What are you going to do about that? Well, I grabbed the blanket and said, Mark, get out of bed and go to work. You're older. You're not a child anymore. Grow up. He didn't move. I literally pulled the blanket and he rolled over onto the floor and jumped up, wanting to have a fight with an old man. Hey, come on. So he went to work. And all three of them have said that the reason that they've been so successful is that I taught them the importance of work, that we're not here to play all the time, and certainly not with toys like guns. It's a parental responsibility. So let's look at the second one that occurred. And Mark, the same son, walked up to a plainclothes cop at Taylor Alderdice and asked to buy a wedge of marijuana back in the days when that was something that would stick on his life record. I got a call from the police, the two police gentlemen, and they said, we want all the parents and the kids in the house, in your house, 6589 Rosemore Street, and we're going to read the riot act and try and scare the hell out of them so that they shouldn't go over the hill. And one of them did and died of an overdose, one of the 15. So there's a little more to the story, but I'm out of time. Something that still has to be corrected
Thank you, Mr.
to
Ludwig.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Ludwig. Do we have any further speakers wishing to address City Council? Please approach the podium. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam President. My name is Lee Hudson, and I am here representing District 2, Esplin, the neighborhood. I'm here to express my dissatisfaction and seeking resolution in a property that was unjustly demolished. I do own the property. I attempted to resolve this with no success. I did, in fact, have a residential building permit. At the time, improvements were made. The rehabilitation was progressing, and without notice, this demolition took place. Being as though there is an affordable housing crisis, this was a setback for the community. We do need more livable housing, and I was on my way to that when this happened, and I'm seeking support. This concludes my statement.
Thank you. Esplin or Elliott?
Esplin.
Okay, thank you.
Esplin. Thank you, ma'am.
We have one in Elliott too. Thank you. Any further speakers wishing to address City Council? Seeing no further speakers, that moves us on to our next order of business, which is presentation of papers. We'll begin with Councilman Burgess, Chair of Urban Recreation. Councilman Coghill. Thank you, Councilman Coghill, for Councilman Burgess. Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 278, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of public works on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement or the use of existing agreements for the professional landscape architectural services for Sheridan Park Phase 1 design between the city and Cavalon Design Associates, Inc. The total not to exceed is $300,000. Bill number 279, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to apply for grant funding from the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Community Conservation Partnerships Program to provide funding for the Allegheny Riverfront Park renovation project. The grant proposal includes an ask of $250,000 with a match of $500,000 from the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust for a total project cost of $750,000. Bill number 280, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to apply for grant funding from the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Community Conservation Partnerships Program to provide funding for a trail condition study. The grant proposal includes an ask of $73,000 with a total match of $73,000 to come out of the 2019 City of Pittsburgh capital budget for a total project cost $146,000. Bill number 281, resolution amending resolution number 582 entitled Resolution Providing for an Agreement with the Pittsburgh Public Schools and West Penn Allegheny Health System, granting right of entry for foot traffic of staff and students onto licensed premises to PPS during designated times and dates, to add the Director of Finance to be an additional signatory for the execution of agreements that this resolution would authorize. Bill number 282, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement with the use of existing agreements between the city and Lori Hepner for the creation and installation of public art as part of the new Davis Avenue Bridge at a cost not to exceed $30,000. Bill number 283, resolution further amending resolution number 719 entitled providing for an agreement or use of existing agreement and or contracts for the purchase of materials, supplies, equipment, and or services for various projects in connection with the Neighborhood Needs Program in Council District 4, and providing for payment of costs thereof by transferring funds within District 4 Neighborhood Needs to Volunteers Field and Seldom Seen Park. Bill number 284, resolution further amending and supplementing resolution number 855 entitled adopting and approving the 2012 capital budget and the 2012 through 2017 capital improvement program by transferring funds within District 4 Neighborhood Needs to Volunteers Field Seldom Seen Park, and further correcting the name of an existing project.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs.
Madam President,
Thank you, Councilwoman. Good morning.
good morning.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 285, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh official sewer facilities plan for the 810 West North Avenue, Pittsburgh. Bill number 286, resolution requesting the approval of an intermunicipal transfer of a restaurant liquor license from Comer Pub to the applicant, Pashawn Cafe, for the premises located at 808 Ivy Street in Pittsburgh, known as Pasha Cafe, pursuant to amended Pennsylvania Liquor Code 4461. Bill number 300, resolution promoting affordable housing in the city by exploring the expansion of limited equity housing cooperatives.
Thank you. Councilman Gross, did you want to waive the rules of council for this bill?
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam President. I thought we did that at the beginning of the session, but no, we are going to hold the housing equity piece for next Wednesday. I mean, we don't need to waive the rules for tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
And Councilman Kraus, Chair of Human Resources. I don't know, Councilman Colquitt for Councilman Kraus.
Sure, Councilwoman, I apologize. I'm on the phone.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I have papers, Madam President. I apologize.
No new papers. Thank you.
New papers, Madam President.
Thank you for joining us. And Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Finance and Law.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. Good morning.
Morning.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 287, ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances, Title II, Fiscal Article 1, Administration, Chapter 218, Capital Budget and Capital Improvement Plan by revising Section 21802 definitions, 21804 Capital Program Facilitation Committee Process, 21805 Project Authorization, and 2018-08 Project and Budget Reporting, so as to add equity and project readiness to scoring and expand the city's provisions for the closure of capital project accounts included as part of the city controller's annual accounting close and report, so as to recycle capital funds faster. Bill number 288, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement with the Pittsburgh Futures for professional services relating to leadership development training at a sum not to exceed $27,336 and for the payment of costs thereof. Bill number 289, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement with Resource X for professional services relating to priority-based budgeting for a sum not to exceed $150,000 over 3 years for the payment of the costs thereof.
Thank you. And Councilman O'Connor, Chair of Public Safety Services.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. and Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Good morning. And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Yeah, Madam President.
Good morning, Councilman. Thank you.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 290, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh City Code Title 7, Business Licensing, Article 3, Chapter 721 and 723, Article 9, and Title 10, Building, Chapter 1004, Section 10351, to simplify legacy license types. Bill number 291, resolution approving a conditional use application under the Pittsburgh Code Title 9, zoning Article 4, Chapter 910, to Meyer, Unkovich, and Scott on behalf of 306th Avenue Property LLC for the transfer of development rights involving 33 dwelling units from 130 through 165th Avenue, Zone GTA, Golden Triangle, Subdistrict A, and 5 dwelling units from 417 Wood Street, Zone GTA, Golden Triangle, Subdistrict A, to 306th Avenue, Zone GTA, Golden Triangle, Subdistrict A, in the First Ward Council District Number 6. Bill number 292, ordinance accepting a new street name, Cedarwood Place, in the 28th Ward of the city, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee. The following street name was approved by CPAC in February of 2022. The name listed in this ordinance shall be made official in accordance with the Pittsburgh Code Title 4, Public Places and Property, Chapter 420, Uniform Street Naming and Addressing.
Thank you. And myself, Chair of Hearings, I have 5 appointments. And let's take the ones, I don't want to, the appointments for equipment leasing, let's do those separate. Okay, thank you.
Council President Kel Smith presents Bill number 293, resolution appointing Chris Hornstein as Director for the Department of Public Works. Bill number 294, resolution appointing Kimberly Lucas as Director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure. Bill number 295, resolution appointing Catherine Vargas as Director of the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you. And you've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Can we have a motion to hold for interviews? Is
So
that
moved.
a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll hold those and get those scheduled. I'd like to get them scheduled as soon as possible so that they can get working on some of the things that are so important. And then we have 2 appointments for the equipment leasing. Madam Clerk, is that a read, receive, and file? Or do we interview? Okay, we can interview. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Bill number 296, resolution appointing Lisa Frank as a board member of the Equipment Leasing Authority for a term to expire on March 31st. Chief Frank will serve the remainder of the term for a seat vacated by Jennifer Pursuti, who resigned. Bill number 297, resolution appointing Chris Hornstein as a board member of the Equipment Leasing Authority for a term to expire on April 30th, 2027. It requires a vote.
Thank you. Can we hold for interviews? Anybody want to interview?
You?
I would like to interview. Yes,
So moved.
thank you. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, we'll get
Aye.
those. Aye. We'll get those scheduled too. And our next order of business is unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business before council? The next order of business is reports of committee for final action. We'll begin with Councilman Lavelle. Committee on Finance and Law. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 272, report of the Committee on Finance and Law for April 20th, 2022 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 216, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Buchanan, Ingersoll, and Rooney PC for legal services for an employment-related matter in an amount not to exceed $75,000. Bill number 217, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Autumn K. Shawn in the amount of $2,500 relating to the full and final settlement of a case filed in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Bill number 218, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Tina Marie Corindinelli in the amount of $3,500 relating to the full and final settlement of a case filed in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Bill number 219, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor on behalf of the city to enter into a professional services agreement with Strasburger, McKenna, Gutnick, and Gufsky to address pending tax litigation at an amount not to exceed $20,000. Bill number 251, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in an amount of $11,120.10 in settlement of a claim for damage to an impact alternator in on SR 51 near Woodruff Street from a city police vehicle. Bill number 252, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement with the Commonwealth Press for services relating to the design, production, and marketing and sale of officially licensed and branded City of Pittsburgh merchandise. Bill number 253, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement with the National Traffic Safety Institute for professional services relating to a driver training e-learning system for a sum not to exceed $31,500 over 3 years and for the payment of costs thereof.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess, Mr. Coghill,
Aye.
Ms. Gross,
Aye.
Mr. Kraus,
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor,
Abstain on 216 and aye on remaining bills.
Ms. Strasburger,
Aye on all bills, but I will abstain on 219.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Thank you. Aye.
On Bill 216, ayes 7, 1 abstention. On Bill 219, ayes 7, 1 abstention. All other bills, ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And Councilman O'Connor, Committee on Public Safety Services.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 273, report of the Committee on Public Safety Services for April 20th, 2022 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 254, resolution amending resolution 430 entitled Resolution Authorizing the Mayor and Director of the Department of Public Safety to execute relevant grant agreements to receive funding from the Allegheny County Health Department to develop a public health informed diversion program and further providing for expenditures under the term of said agreement to increase the amount authorized by the grant agreement and the amount authorized for expenditures.
You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final passage, final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill,
Aye.
Ms. Gross,
Aye.
Mr. Kraus,
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor,
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to our next committee, which is Councilman Bobby Wilson, Committee on Land Use and Economic Development. Thank you, Councilman. Did I miss Erica? No.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 274, report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for April 20th, 2022 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 256, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspections to enter into an agreement with RJ Lee Group for professional services, providing materials for an analysis of lead dust samples pertaining to PLI's execution of the City of Pittsburgh Lead Safe Ordinance for a sum not to exceed $100,000.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill,
Aye.
Ms. Gross,
Aye.
Mr. Kraus,
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor,
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Carol Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, noes 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Committee on Urban Recreation, Councilman Coghill, Councilman Burgess. Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Reverend Burgess presents Bill number 275, report of the Committee on Urban Recreation for April 20th, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 248, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of Parks and Recreation to enter on behalf of the city into a grant agreement with Chester County Immediate Unit for the purpose of receiving funds in the amount of $80,000 that will be used to purchase technology and other materials needed for the facilitation of computer science learning experiences for children attending educational programs at select City of Pittsburgh recreation centers.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? I'll just reiterate that we appreciate the grant and that I wish that we had partners within the city of Pittsburgh limits that were helping us with some of these things. With that said, any further discussion? All in favor of the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill, vote aye when their names called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill,
Aye.
Ms. Gross,
Aye.
Mr. Kraus,
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor,
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Carol Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, noes 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Strasburger presents Bill number 276, report of the Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management for April 20th, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 255, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into an agreement with SciComm Data Systems, Inc. for professional services relating to continuing maintenance, support, and upgrades to city law, the Department of Law's current legal case management and administrative support software system at a cost not to exceed $11,376.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of their passage will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill,
Aye.
Ms. Gross,
Aye.
Mr. Kraus,
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor,
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Carol Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, noes 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to our last committee of the day, Councilwoman Deborah Gross, Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 277, report of the Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs for April 20th, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 249, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh official sewer facilities plan for the James T. Givner Building Project located at 627 North Homewood Avenue. Bill number 250, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh official sewer facilities plan for the PHC Development LLC project located at 186 Home Street.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill,
Aye.
Ms. Gross,
Aye.
Mr. Kraus,
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor,
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Okay, the bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to motions and resolutions. And I have some meeting announcements. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., council will hold our standing committees meeting. To register to speak at this meeting, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage. You may also call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138 or email city clerk's office at pittsburghpa.gov. On Thursday, April 28th at 10 a.m., there will be a virtual Sunshine Act training with the State Office of Open Records for members. This Saturday, April 30th at 1 p.m. Madam Clerk, that's for members and for staff? Members and staff. Thank you. This Saturday at April 30th at 1 p.m. at the Sheridan Healthy Active Living Center at 720 Sherwood Street, Pittsburgh 15204. There will be an in-person only public briefing by the Reapportionment Advisory Committee on the proposed reapportionment district maps. Speaker registration closes at Friday, April 29th at 4 p.m. To register to speak at this meeting, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage. You may also email the city clerk's office at cityclerksoffice@pittsburghpa.gov. Is there anything from members? I just want to thank everyone. We've had a little bit of a challenging morning here with a few illnesses on this floor. And so I asked members if they could to participate via Zoom. So I want to thank them for doing that on such short notice. And I know some of us had meetings that we could not cancel, but I also want to thank our Sergeant at Arms office, our clerk's office, and IMP for always getting us through these meetings. With that said, can I have a motion to excuse the absent member, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting?
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting